Sometimes people pay it way back in September, October, and then in February they were wondering, did I pay it or not? And then I was able to, see how I actually put this in the roster, paid 6/7/15 or 1/8/15.
I've just been giving you the originals. So.
Oh, okay.
Do you want me to keep track?
Well, I was just gonna say,
I can do it. Well, if you put the date on it, the new form has a thing at the top for the date then, right?
Yeah,
okay.
that's what I was going to say.
Okay,
On our membership form, there's a little box on the upper right that says date, so you can just write the date in. And if you want to make a notation at the meeting or
we do need
on the corner,
Well, I started to do it on here, but I only had.
We need to update the forms. Some of them say 2000.
I updated the form.
Online?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because the 3 that I have were old. There may be, old ones.
Well, if you have an old one, just cross out the 2015.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So do you want to do the approval of the minute thing, Carol?
So, except for Lynn, who didn't get her email, did everyone see the minutes online? So
yes. Did you get a chance?
Well, I sent them earlier after the meeting, and a couple people sent changes, but I incorporated the changes.
Yeah. Because you've got
from, I think it was Lynn and Dagmar that sent me changes, and I did incorporate those. I'm assuming that this is now correct. Therefore, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes as written.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Then.
Okay, a motion has been made to approve the minutes, so all those in favor.
Is there a second?
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Yes, there's a second.
Any discussion?
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, anybody opposed? Okay, let's approve those minutes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's move along to reports. You notice I put reports this time because we're really just reporting on stuff that happened. Go ahead, Sue.
Okay, so Prop 49 had their hearing at the Supreme Court. We had about 225 people show up for the rally. And the proceedings were really interesting because you could see the facial expressions and hear. Some people listened to it because they couldn't come. They listened to it on the radio. And they couldn't really see the expressions, and mostly they felt we were not in a good position, but the LA Times the next day reported ballot measure looks ready to go on the ballot or something. It was like very positive. So I think that that's a good tell a little bit, and then we think it went really well having heard what was said.
I watched some of it online at the California channel where you can see that live. And I have to tell you, the looks on people's faces when the lawyer for the other side was talking, they were just cracking up. I kind of felt bad for this guy, but at the same time I thought, this is a good thing.
The thing we're a little bit worried about is that they might not let us keep Prop 49 as our number.
Oh, no.
They might not, but we're sending letters to the court now to urge them that we were taken off the ballot incorrectly, and that we should be able to keep that because we already have a committee already set up, and we have materials already printed with our proposition number on it. So we really want to keep it, and we think there's a chance that they will let us keep it. So.
I just like it because it's like 49.
And we will, we like that for that reason too. It will be decided no later than January 5th, we found out. Not the end of January, but January 5th. And it could be announced tomorrow if they wanted to.
Really?
That's good. That's great. I'm so glad that you were there.
It's exciting.
And we got to meet with activists from all over the state of California. There were people there, young people from Davis. They had been part of Occupy. And they are now working for the Bernie campaign. And and what we know to be true is Bernie's #1 issue is overturning Citizens United. And since he has groups in almost every city, every county in California, we can use their efforts to help spread the word about Prop 49. And when they're tabling about Bernie, say this is Bernie's #1 issue in California. We're going to have it on the ballot. Make sure that you get the word out. So we feel we have that already, that built-up connection that we can already use. So.
That's good.
I mean, and Hillary's campaign too, honestly, because it's in her,
Yeah.
it's in her
Yeah.
thing too. But you know, Bernie's supporters are pretty excited about him, so we seem to know who they are more than we know who the Hillary supporters are. So, so we may use the Bernie ones instead. So I think that's the basic. We had a meeting on Saturday talking about strategies for how we're going to build a campaign next year. So we're just getting started on figuring that out. Even before we know if we're on the ballot, we're just going to pretend like we are and lay out how we want to proceed.
So people are still filling out petitions? Are
Yeah.
people still?
In fact, there's a second Supreme Court letter that talks about keeping the Prop 49 designation. So that's on the Yes on 49 website that you can access.
Are
So
we going to link
we're
up
encouraging
with that
people.
on our website as well?
Yeah, we certainly can. I mean, we still have that page set up,
Yeah,
so we just have to add that.
okay.
So I can
And
send that to Stuart.
Did anybody stream the pay-to-play movie during the free 72-hour?
I don't know, how would we even know that?
I don't know, I just
exactly?
thought there must be some analytics somehow.
I don't know how to
Wow.
find out. Do you know how,
Stuart
if we
knows.
would know if anybody streamed the movie from our website, from Pay to Play?
Well, you could go to, yeah, you could, oh, that, I don't know. Maybe Holly knows, but
Hey,
I was gonna say if it's on YouTube.
Hey.
Were you on a trip?
You know, we don't have
Did you tell him? I walked off and he's standing there. And I said,
That
"What
never
are the
happened.
in Denver, in Arizona. No, sorry, well, two things. First of all, I just had something right till 6:10, and then I took the stupid route, which was down Ocean. Stupid route.
Like, if I was on the freeway and it was a mess, so I had to get off because of the rain.
Oh, that's me.
Trick or treat. Halloween candy.
Right, I'm sharing part of my stash with you, I think.
Thank you.
In case I don't get it to you.
Okay, so that was good on the Prop 49.
Yeah.
I actually, I feel really
I mean, if that gets on the
positive
ballot,
about
it's gonna be big. I mean, even, was it Truth Dig? Truth Dig said something like, you know, this is bigger than anything else that has happened on this movement, this particular getting on the ballot in California. It's been on the ballot in Montana, won by, 82%, and it was on the ballot in Colorado. But if California does it, especially at this moment, it seems like the timing is even better now than if it had happened 2 years ago or whatever.
Think back when we first entertained Mr. David Cobb, and he was talking about amending the Constitution. I have to tell you, I was like, well, it's here right now.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
Now I'm
Never
like,
gonna happen.
wow! Until before dinner time is, yeah.
It's, the movement's made a lot of progress.
Yeah.
no doubt about it.
So, and I won't ask you to repeat anything, but I just want to know, so why is everyone watching California because of the momentum, because of the...
No, we're hoping it gets on the ballot and then wins. Okay, we want two things to happen. Get on the ballot, and then we want to win by 80%, something like that, so that then we think, first of all, the media has to cover it even before it actually gets voted on, because people always want to know, well, what are these propositions? What do they mean?
Right.
So it gets media attention on purpose, which they wouldn't normally give it, and secondarily, once it gets on the ballot and we win, then other states are going to go, wow, look what California just did.
Right.
We could do that. Heck, we could do that.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
really.
Okay, so let's move on to the wonderful voter registration event at the Vista Cove.
Oh, it was wonderful. I want to thank Carol and Laurel and Gwen Lisa and Dagmar. Yes, the activity director was back at work today. I saw her for the first time, and she just hugged me. I said, we got about 20 people
That's
registered. She
awesome.
says, I know, I saw, and it was so great. And so I told her that maybe we'd like to, before the next election, come out and do it again, because I'm sure we can get at least 20 more, so.
And so I took statistics, I brought them on purpose.
Oh,
good.
cool.
Just informal, but they were the actual ballots. So out of 20 registrants, we had 4 Republicans.
That's okay.
We had 1 independent. We had 3 no's. I don't want to say 1 American independent, but the person who signed him up felt like he really didn't get it. I'm an American and I'm an independent.
Right.
But 10 Democrats.
Yeah.
So he didn't know he was signing up for the Nazi party, but that's okay.
No,
We,
All right.
who was trying to
it was,
tell?
it was me, and
yeah.
and I tried to explain it to him.
It's not.
And then you can only go so far
Yeah.
because maybe
Yeah.
he really isn't. But I think he truly just wanted to so strongly say, because he was so limited in his movement and his speech that, but he actually was an officer in Vietnam, so he
And he was
was
a
he?
Vietnam guy, yeah.
Yeah.
They were so sweet, those.
Yeah.
So,
I wanted
anyway.
to ask you, Lynn, is it possible to videotape or take pictures of any of that activity? Like if we do that again, like maybe a picture of you with the director at the center, or
Yeah,
maybe with a,
I know that when Karen was there, when my sister was there, they had to sign for permission for people to take pictures of them.
see, because I
So,
could produce
you
ones
know,
like that.
I don't know.
Okay.
You mean if we do it next time?
Or else we'll just take out one in front of the building or something like that, because I just think, I have, this is like a really good,
Let me ask
feel-good
her.
kind of
I'm
thing.
going tomorrow.
And I would
so-
love to put it in our
Oh.
PowerPoint display for when I go and knock on people's doors and say, can you please give us a
I can
chance?"
ask, you know, I'm not sure, you know, with HIPAA and all.
Yeah.
you know.
You
Yeah,
know,
but
one
maybe
thing,
some of them might say, I'd like to be on.
Some may.
One thing that we did sometimes with kids, because you cannot mess with that, is that when a group was coming to work with our kids, as long as we had the back of the kid's head and it was not real distinguishable, but it was focused on the person who was providing the service.
Oh, yeah, we could probably do that.
Any special
Where their face is
waivers.
not showing, we're showing them
Right.
that.
Just
If
they're
you
in a
can't
wheelchair.
identify.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, well, let me talk with, her name is Cindy too. Let me talk to Cindy tomorrow and see.
I think that'd be great.
So
I
video
talked-
or still
Yeah.
pictures?
Either
Video?
or both, or it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I talked to my friend Linda Pittman, who works at the Vista Cove.
I know, who told me that?
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah,
And she
went
said,
down the hall
why
to
are
see
you
her."
not going to other convalescent homes? and
I thought
other-
the same thing.
And I
We
was
need
like,
to hit all
I
of
don't
them.
know, and I thought, well, let's just knock on the door and ask. I mean, you know, why not? So, because I have to say from hearing your stories, I just thought that's really a good service. We should do that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very
Yeah,
much.
It was great.
yeah.
Okay, I'm going to chat a little bit about the debate watch party at Eileen Ringerman's house. That was really fun, our first
Yeah.
Democratic debate of the year, and everybody was really pumped up for it. Eileen's house is very nice. She has a very nice den and a big screen TV.
A
and
huge TV.
yeah, it was pretty big, and it was, thank goodness the air conditioning was working because it was pretty hot that day. And everyone watched the debate, and everybody was pretty quiet and into it, and then, you know, pumped up at the appropriate times. So I was glad that we were part of a lot of debate watch parties that happened that evening. The Long Beach Democratic Club had a debate watch party with over 100 people. They had it on Broadway and Pine at some pizza place there. I can't remember what the place is called, but so thank you. So that was a good thing, and I thought to myself, we should probably have another one, another debate watch party. I think that would be
Saturday
fun.
night, isn't it?
I'm not sure. I've got to find out what that information is and see if we might want to have it at a place like a pizza place or something. Thank you. So yeah, that
I think
was
we
good.
get more people if we did that.
Yeah. So.
Yeah,
The only thing I did think about was, remember the time we had a big Obama watching party at Rex or Briss or whatever it's called?
Where?
Across from
Briss is
the
a
Yeah,
Jewish
it was,
ceremony.
yes.
It was awful.
It was so loud,
And
we
nobody
couldn't
could
hear.
see and pay attention.
You couldn't
And
hear.
so that was
So
all.
you have to remember too, that night was really actually more than just debate watch party. It was an opportunity for all of the clubs to.
Yeah, it
remember
was
we
all the clubs.
We all
Yeah.
did it together, and everybody wanted to, like, you know, poach everybody's peoples, and, you know, it was a little, but
Yeah.
it was good in a way because people got to see how strong the Democratic, the liberal, the progressive side of town was. So in that respect, it was a good visibility.
It was a nice party,
Yeah.
but
No,
I was a little,
debate.
I was a little
Yeah.
frustrated because I couldn't really hear the
See or
debate.
hear.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing was that they weren't in sync.
So they
Right.
were like
Right.
5
Oh, yeah.
minutes ahead of time. So people all started to leave and talk, and they
Yeah.
think it's over and we're thinking,
Exactly.
Yeah, I think one was the online feed and one was the
Yes.
TV.
I mean, yes.
So, yeah.
Oh,
I
the
will say-
TVs weren't in
Yeah.
sync.
I will say that through the Liberally Speaking group that I've attended a few times back then, the debate that was the one where President Obama said, "Please proceed, Governor," whichever one that was,
Yeah.
which I remember like it was laser beamed in my head. But anyway, that was in a private home, which the people had kind of a large, kind of a sit-around sort of area, guarding chairs, with a TV. There were probably 25 people, and I think it's almost been my favorite debate watching party yet. So I do think that there is an advantage of not overstacking the deck.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think, what do we have, like 16 people? I mean, it was a good sized
It was,
group. And, you know, people were quiet watching the debate, but they were also talking about it too. I mean,
Right.
it was fun. It was good.
yeah,
but we shouldn't use that house anymore.
We're not going to.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys heard, but Eileen kind of like had a little panic attack at the end there, and she had to go to her room. Kind of left us there, but it was okay. I mean, everybody picked up their stuff and everything. And I called Eileen to tell her, you know, thank you very much, and I hope you're feeling better. And I still haven't heard from Eileen.
Well, I went the next day because I thought, well, my chair's there and I'll just say I'm coming and then I'll see how she is, and couldn't get any, and I came back another time in the afternoon, and I didn't have her telephone number, so.
why is your chair there?
You brought chairs?
Oh, your chair is there, or chair?
Chair.
You brought a chair?
Well, it just
Well, that's so
said-
cool of you.
Phil has a special.
And actually, they needed my chair. I mean, I sat in my own, I mean, you know, there were my chair. Well, I mean, but then she called me and, you know, I could tell it was coming
I'll tell you,
on, so I
Phil, that
missed some of it.
we had the house party there because she really insisted.
Yeah.
Oh, I know,
really
and I
wanted
think
to
she's
do
just
that.
wonderful, and but
Yeah.
I just felt so
Eileen
bad
really
for her.
wants to do stuff with our club, and you know, any way she can offer something, she will.
Yeah,
And
she's
so I
just
feel
wonderful, and I
compelled to
just
take
felt
her up
really
on
bad
it.
that.
Did you
I
ever
know.
make contact? You've never made contact?
So you haven't gotten your chair?
No, but I've been there, I know her neighborhood now.
We can give you her phone number's on our roster, that's on our Google
Yeah,
Drive.
online.
Online.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how to get to that one, and,
Maybe
I'll help you.
Carol will just
Oh,
hand you
there you
I've
go.
never seen this.
Yeah, but you can have it now and take a look at the phone.
I did leave a message if you,
Well, I need it back, but you can copy her phone.
but anyway.
I
Okay,
could get it out.
so that's.
So it was just, you know, it was a difficulty, there wasn't anything wrong with it.
Yeah, okay, let me ask that just before we leave it. So if we're looking for, say, 30 people, is there anyone in our large group of 30 or 35 people in our group who has a house big enough to accommodate that?
Well, besides Chris Robeson, who has a big house?
Well, Chris isn't big, it's just that it's
No,
ideally,
it's like
so
this
it's
shotgun
ideally.
style house that's perfect. It's like
Perfect.
one big
Yeah,
So
lawn.
why can't we ask him? Just show the
I
next
have
meeting?
no problem asking him.
All right, because, I
You
mean,
can ask him
I
that.
didn't even think about him when I was saying it, honestly. I really just like, duh. But really, I mean, if, I mean, because that is a house where people, when we had like 60 people in there gathered around for one of those.
Yeah, because there's two TV sets.
20 or so
20
up there
yeah.
and 30 over here with a few hanging out and having a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if I'm directed by the group to ask him if we could have a debate watching party on whatever day that is, I'd be more than happy to do it. But when I said that, I wasn't thinking of him. I was thinking of somebody else in our group who might have, you know, a big enough place where we could do that.
Or have it at a public place. I
When
mean,
that, before we pick a public place, because I think somebody needs to pursue that, because we don't wait till the last minute.
Yeah. I always wanted to have one at that Italian place on Long Beach Boulevard and by the
Tony's?
school. Tony's. I was going to say Joe's. That's Tony's.
By the school.
I mean, that's,
It's
yeah.
on 8th, I think, 8th
Yeah,
and
8th and Long Beach Boulevard. Tony's is like a really old Italian place.
I don't think it's Tony's.
I don't think it's Tony's.
It's not Tony's
No,
anymore.
it isn't. I know.
It's like fish tacos or something.
You're kidding!
Oh yeah, I just came down Long Beach
Well, sorry to
Boulevard, and
disappoint
there was a
Wow.
taco place there.
It's not Tony's anymore.
Wow, that's sad because it's like a family-owned place. It's been
Yeah,
there for
the community
30
room
years.
in my building is large enough to accommodate, and they've got a
Really?
big screen. Yeah, the only thing is parking.
You would have to
Well,
carpool.
so
Yeah,
with
whatever,
carpool,
Yeah, the only thing is
Takes a lot of
parking, you know?
organization.
I need to put a deposit down, and no problem, I'm sure nobody's gonna wreck the community
Huh.
room, but we could,
seniors work the community room, yeah.
yeah, we could do that, but the parking is a problem.
Huh, well, that's an option.
They've
Well,
got very
what-
limited visitor parking, and,
Where do people park? Could they park on Alameda's?
yeah, you can park on the
Or
street,
whatever the 55 thing is, 55.
There's not much parking on Alameda's though, is there?
Yeah, well, it's kind of,
Especially-
it's kind
especially
of.
Oh, I know, well, I was thinking like over by where, first time I went out with you and Chris Rupson and Carol, I think, we went to that Mexican restaurant on First. and
Yeah,
Oh, that's
super
a-
mess.
Super mixed, there's all, parking is hard around there.
Now,
Yeah, but you know what, along Ocean after, I think, what is it, 6 o'clock, you can park on the street.
Mhm.
Okay,
Cool.
well, I will put you down, so.
Debate
We
or
will-
forum, you know they're doing that
Yeah, they're doing
forum.
this
That's a
before.
good point.
what forum?
Oh, Rachel Maddow is going to be
Oh,
moderating
I did hear about that.
In
forum,
South Carolina.
which is basically one guy talks for a while about stuff, then another guy, then they're not like.
Ah.
sitting
And the
and
tickets
debating.
sold
But
out
most of the
in
things they
5.
I
call
heard-
debates
I
have been
saw
forums
that.
anyway.
What's the date on that, November?
I don't know. I'll
5th or
find out.
6th. I think it's a Friday.
Yeah, but see, what Carol says is important, that it's going to be highly visible because all the tickets for that forum sold out in 5 minutes.
5
It
minutes.
was amazing.
I have to say, I think that's probably because of Rachel Maddow.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
yeah, and also I don't think that all the people are doing it, isn't it just Bernie and
Well, I
Hillary
hope
and?
Mr. Webb isn't going to be there.
Oh, did you
He
guys
said-
hear on the
Oh, yeah.
news tonight
What?
that he's thinking about running as an independent?
Really? Wow.
Well, good luck, dude.
Yeah, I mean, you're polling 1%. Okay.
Then you get 1%.
I think he got 1%. I think he's polling at 1%.
Really?
And Chafee is polling at nothing.
So Laurel and I will
Yeah,
research this.
okay, that's fine.
Okay, cool. I'll call you about deadlines and stuff.
All right.
Yeah,
All right,
he
let's
needs to
move on
leave
to
the
the next
Democratic
thing
Party.
here.
Okay.
The Bixby Knowles tabling. Carol, want to talk about that?
It went well. We talked to a lot of Bernie people.
Yay.
Because they had tables on both sides of the street. So they were moving around on the street and, you know, out in the street with their signs. And we had the Monopoly board thing spread out, so that was a conversation starter. And the Bernie people in particular, as Cindy was saying earlier, they are in tune with that whole issue about money in politics. So it gave us an opening to talk to them and to tell them about it being live streamed on our website. And we invited them to come to our debate watch. And then later, individually, we went down to their table to talk to them. And they had a cardboard Bernie standee, so we both got our pictures.
I bought a t-shirt, I bought
She bought a t-shirt, I bought 2 buttons, so
That reminded me of the
supported the
old
Bernie
days.
people.
It reminded me of the
Saturday.
Obama days, right? When we were
Yeah,
out there.
it was fun to see all that energy.
The November.
Oh, I saw
Did you
that
see
clip.
this on Saturday Night Live?
Yeah, Larry David did Bernie.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
And he did a really
He
good
did a
job.
good
He's
job.
really
He
good.
had
Yeah.
that Brooklyn accent.
Yeah.
That was.
We can
The
assist
November,
her.
the November debate is Saturday, November 14th
At what
on
time?
CBS from Des Moines, Iowa. I don't see a time.
See,
though.
that's the debate, that's not the forum.
Yeah.
I know, but he's got, we have a date for the debate.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
okay.
Oh, right, Rachel, put in Rachel Maddow forum.
So Saturday, November 16th, you said?
14th.
14th? Okay. Well,
And it's on-
that gives us some time to find a venue.
CBS
Yes.
over most of your local stations.
Right, right.
Okay,
And it's coming from Des Moines, Iowa.
we actually registered voters that night too at Bixby Knowles.
I did.
So it's still a fun place to go and do a voter reg thing. It's a high visibility type of thing as well.
And it was funny because you know that right-wing guy that comes to our table all the time, just to argue? He came up and he was all loaded for bear, and he had been doing his research on Wikipedia or something, I don't know, and he came up and he said, so, you know, what about this election coming up? And he said, are you supporting Hillary? And I said, well, I kind of like Bernie Sanders. And that stopped him cold because he had all this negative information on Hillary. To share with me. He said, well, you know she's a corporatist. And I said, yeah, she is. That's why we like Bernie better. So he wasn't getting anywhere. It was kind of funny. He finally got discouraged and walked away. It was the shortest conversation I've ever had with him. Because usually he's there for like 15 minutes. That was funny.
We are right exactly on time. Look at that. 7 o'clock, actually.
Ding, ding.
Dun, 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 dun. Okay, we're going to move to the bylaws amendment that we talked about when we wanted to change the language so that we could satisfy the LACDP and become eligible to have people go to the pre-endorsement meetings and be part of that whole process. So I'll turn it over to you, Dagmar.
Okay. Well, the language I thought I had distributed this to some of you. Did you get it?
I have my copy.
You have it, okay. Maybe others don't. I only made 5 copies of the changes, and I have 1 copy that has it in it.
I think it's okay if you just
Summarized it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, because we've
Yeah.
got 3 things going with the bylaws, but this one is critical to being able to do the pre-endorsement. And the first one is it needed to define member in good standing. It does have member in good standing already in it. Robert's Rules of Order never defines it beyond that, but they want it because they've had issues, right? So we're adding what they said, which would be a new section in Article 4 of membership. And there are already 7 things that are in membership that require that people be non-discriminatory, that you pay your dues, that you provide a current address, telephone, and email, that you're registered as a Democrat or you're ineligible to vote because you're under 18 and non-resident or prohibited by law, but you promise to register as a Democrat when eligibility is attained, and you support the purpose of the club, and that you're dedicated to the principles of the Democratic Party. That's all in there, right? But now we have to add. So the language to add is and it's defining member in good standing. The individual is a member in good standing if he/she has met all the conditions listed in Section 2 that I just went over of Article 4. And membership, I do have a few copies of this, so because I know it's a lot easier to. Yeah, I was going to say you could look at mine. There are 2 more in there. It's much easier to follow then. So if they have met the conditions that are listed in Article 4 that I went over, plus only members in good standing as of July 1st of each year shall be included in the California Democratic Party Chartered Club Organization CCO official membership roster. The secretary or treasurer must certify the status of the members in good standing. I didn't add it. Obviously, what's being added is the stuff that's in red, right? Mm-hmm. And I only included the language that's already there where it was needed to explain the red, right?
So is this verbatim from what they sent us?
Pretty much,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, all the stuff we had, plus we have the clause that says.
Well, we have more stuff. I haven't finished, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
All that has.
I only did this, right? So there are 3.
No, it's a pain.
But there's no. Oh.
Yeah, there's more than one
That's because I
section.
didn't see it.
Yeah. So under meetings, they also asked that we specify specifically it's Robert's Rules of Order, which it's understood it is if you don't have it, but better to put it there, right? So that's all that's added to Article 5. And then Article 14, which is under endorsement, already has 4 sections that are very, very general. The first one being that the club shall not endorse non-democratic candidates in any race nor provide financial supports of non-democrats. And number 2, the club shall vote whether to allocate funds or other resources to a particular Democratic candidate in a general election. And then number 3, the club shall vote whether to allocate funds or other resources to a particular political initiative, proposition, or cause. And then the last section did say only all votes taken under that Article 14 shall require a 2/3 vote of those members present and eligible to vote. So what we have to add in order to be compliant are the final 2 sections. However, there's a little addition to what I just read.
Which is crucial, which is
Yeah,
super important.
which have been member for 21 days. And they don't absolutely require that, but it's in a ton of different clubs because, as those of you who were in one of those elections in North Long Beach,
stacking.
there were people coming in, you know, and
Never been there before.
yeah, and they had all kinds of, I think in the past, people have had all kinds of really funny rules that have allowed stacking, right?
Just give us $15 and you can vote. It's like a way to make money. You know?
So what we'd add is paid staff of candidates being considered for endorsement shall not be eligible to vote on the motion to endorse. Now actually that's one that isn't absolutely required either, but it was debated at the North Long Beach Democratic Club when they adopted this, and listening to the debate and recognizing that every meeting of that particular club has paid staff attending, and that if we get closer to an election, I think some of the candidates will start sending a few of their paid staff.
Okay, so
yeah.
somebody who's like Jeanette, Janine Pierce sends her person, if that person joins our club, when it's time to vote, she can't, her vote doesn't
If
count.
she's paid, not a volunteer.
Yeah, she joins our club.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
she's a paid person. You know,
she is a paid
person for
person
Janine.
for Janine.
Yeah,
then,
yeah. Right,
And then
okay.
she can't vote, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I
Even if she's a member.
Right,
Even
because,
if she's a
because
member, she
otherwise,
can't
you know, I don't know,
Right.
it was an interesting debate, but I thought it probably made sense if we begin to attract that would mean that they really have decided they care as much about us as they do about the one that meets up in North Long Beach, right?
Right.
So, and then the next part is the language, and it's got some green in it, and that's, Carol added that to clarify. The club's representatives to any pre-endorsement conference shall be selected at a duly noticed meeting and affirmed by those members in good standing in attendance in accordance with the California Democratic Party, CDP, rules or bylaws. Representatives will be chosen from the roster of members in good standing submitted to the CDP by July 1st of each year, and the voting shall be in compliance with Section 4 above, right? Which is a 2/3 vote. So
I think that's pretty easy to understand.
I think this is pretty straightforward and non-controversial, so I think that we should just put that.
Let's just do it.
Yeah.
Okay, but, so maybe that's the next step,
But we
but
have 2 other issues with bylaws, but yeah.
I know, but let me just ask a question
Yeah,
at this quick point for understanding.
yeah.
So, so how does, we have this good language, which we get, which we can vote on, but it's not going to affect this next year, right? Because of that email you sent us saying that they haven't given us any
No.
Right.
endorsement for this year because we didn't
But
make
you
the
know,
July 1st deadline, which have,
no.
No.
We can, no. That
But
email that I
that's
sent you
changed?
just recently
Uh-huh.
was from a guy in CDP 14 who was talking about CDP 14. Guess what we are? CDP 16.
Oh.
So we still need to do this.
Yeah, and see, the North Long Beach group can't do anything this time either because they didn't have it right in theirs. And I think, well, when you sent the Lynn, you sent in the names, right? Didn't didn't we get something back that said that there were only like 2 people?
I think Carol.
Oh, maybe.
Carol
We-
had.
We
Yeah.
sent all that stuff
So,
in, yeah.
The information that we needed to do this came so late that
Yeah.
hardly
Yeah.
anybody, so.
Everybody, a lot of people were in the same situation. I mean, you can't change your bylaws just overnight like that.
We're not sweating it for this year.
No, but
We
it
wanna
just-
keep, we wanna get this done and have this in place
Yeah,
because
I
we
get
want
that.
We
the
want to be.
next leadership to not have, we're just doing some house cleaning.
So Dagmar, refresh our memory here about notifying the members that they're going to be voting on a change in the bylaws.
We need to just put it in whatever
Our
our
email
newsletter
blast.
is, right,
Yeah.
which is the
Okay,
email.
prior to the meeting,
Prior
and
to the
send them the text with the changes.
Well, I think
in
we should, it
advance.
doesn't
Absolutely.
specifically
So
say
many days
that, but.
before the meeting, is
No,
it
they don't,
required
we
anything?
are.
Could
we
be a
don't
day
have-
before, could be 2
Yeah, but we
days.
don't want it
We're
to
gonna
be
send
that.
out a
week
little
ahead.
blast before
Yeah.
our general meeting that says, this is what we're gonna do at the meeting. Oh, yes, we're going to vote on this bylaw change.
And then this should be on the website, I guess, or it'll be attached to it if you want to see what the language is, right?
So we actually really don't have to vote on this at this meeting, do
No.
we? Yeah, we just say, yeah, we wanna do this. Okay, good. All right,
Well,
so,
the
great.
members have to vote.
Oh,
you
no,
mean
no,
not
no,
this
no,
meeting
like
right
this
now?
meeting.
No, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
okay, so.
Well, I mean, I
I
guess,
think we're in agreement.
well, that's why we'd vote on it here, if we
We want to
wanted
get
to.
these back.
If we wanted to present it like we all agreed to it, we could, right?
So
Have a
I
vote.
want
Let's have
to,
a vote.
Let's have a vote.
Okay. So
okay,
Well, it'll still be in the minutes that the executive board.
Okay, so I move that we adopt these changes to the bylaws.
I second it.
okay, so there's been a motion to move to adopt these changes in the bylaws. Is there any discussion on that? Okay, so let's vote on it. How many people are in favor of changing the bylaws?
I,
Are there any people, anybody opposed? Okay then, it's passed.
I put both hands.
Vote early, vote out.
Can we
So
go back to the rest of
typical
the
Democrat.
bylaws?
Look, can I just mention what it is, so we
Well,
don't have to
the
take
reason I
any
want
time?
to come back to that is because you're having to leave to go to another meeting.
Yeah, I can probably stay till 7:30 though.
Okay, great, go ahead.
Okay, well, it was just that the purpose statement we have mentions Barack Obama, and that kind of, we should just make it, we should keep it really, really general, because I've looked at about 7 or 8 different Democratic Club purposes, and they keep it very, very broad, and because then whatever happens, it just fits, and you never worry about that again. And then the second part was whether or not there was anything else from what the endorsement committee came up with that we'd actually want to put in the bylaws, or do we just want that to be the process? And but that would be another discussion, right? But there is language about what we just read, all about endorsement, that doesn't contradict anything that they were suggesting. They just want more, or we endorse the endorsement. So I think those two issues maybe at the next meeting then should be straightened out for sure, right? Yeah.
Right now, the statement of purpose is the same as our mission statement on our objectives.
Almost, I think.
Do you guys think we need to keep that the same?
no,
Or-
Deborah and I had a conversation about it, and her
Would
point
the
is
mission
right.
statement change from time to time?
The mission statement absolutely has to change for next year. But this year, we already reviewed it to go with this year, because until Obama is no longer president, we are supporting him, and so that doesn't get changed. But Dagmar's point is that in bylaws, we can leave out a little, the specificity to make it a general purpose statement for the bylaws, but we still, I believe, for our mission statement, when we have it, we need it to be whomever our person is.
Yeah, and that's what I think we have. This is just the bylaws, which, you know, in most organizations you hardly ever look at that part because it's the most generalized part of what they do. And then they have a mission statement that may go with their 5-year plan or whatever, their year plan or whatever.
So
and then
does that need to be written?
Well, I think.
Well, I have samples actually, but I don't want to now.
No.
That's getting into more
No,
discussion.
no, I just asked a question.
Yeah.
It needs to be written.